Ever been listening to your favorite podcast and think, hey, I want to start my own? Then you need Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First, everyone's favorite word free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Kareem Calabar-Lew has one goal: leave the streets before his 30th birthday. He has one job left, then his debts will be paid, and his loyalty will only be to himself. When he gets to his last job and finds a damsel in distress, he chooses to prioritize her life over his freedom, and only time will tell if it costs him his life. In the streets of Memphis, Joy Dixon is known as Trouble. Trouble has seemed to follow her and her mother all the days of her life. The night Joy thinks her life is about to end, she's rescued by Caliber. Used to men expecting a lot of something for nothing, Joy expects Caliber to demand the world. It catches her by surprise when he doesn't ask for anything in return. In fact, he only offers to keep her safe. When she finds out exactly who he is, Joy embarks on the hard journey of trusting and finding solace in her gangster, the gentleman. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Bibliophile's Bookcase. So, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I am down a Love rabbit hole. Um, I've just been like rereading old books of her again, and anticipating the next part of the Black Mayhem Mafia series, the next book. But In His Possession 2 isn't scheduled to come out until December 1st. So I read a little short story of Love's that I thought I should talk about. And next week I will definitely try to find a different author, to talk about. But let me just give my little love to Love. Um, so this story is called Her Gangster, the Gentleman. And let's see, where do we start? We start with Caliber. That's his street name, but his real name is Kahreem. He's been in the streets all his life, and he made a promise to his mother that he would get out before his 30th birthday. Now, his mom is dead, um, and he really just has himself. He has a father who's in jail but never really wanted to claim him. So he's just been out on his own. Now he's in the diner of a man he calls Pops. He's very close to him. He's been there all his life. And he even used to mess around with Pop's daughter, but it was nothing ever serious. Like, she wasn't really like what? Like a potential girlfriend. She was really just something to play with because she never took him seriously. So, it's his last day. And she's like all up in his face, like, you're really leaving? What about that, da, 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 da? And it's like, girl, you don't care if he leave or not. Because even with these fake tears welled up in her eyes, like, she's smiling. So it's just like, how am I supposed to take you serious? Um, but while he's waiting on his food and his food like finally arrives, the diner is packed. Like, people are waiting to be seated. And if he wasn't who he was, he would be waiting too. But, because he's who he is, Pops has a certain table that is always available to him anytime he comes in. So while he's about to get his food, a young lady walks in and is just looking around. I guess, trying to find a table. And when she sees him, she walks up to him and tells him to be a gentleman and offer to let her sit with him since he's sitting by himself. Now, she claims to be like in a rush and, trying to order some food quickly before she has to leave. And Savannah like knows who she is and tells her, like whatever you want to order is going to take about 30 minutes cuz it's busy. And I hate when people do that. Like, do not come into even if it's slow. Let's just say that even if it's slow, like it don't matter how busy the place is. Do not come into a place demanding that you need something within like the next couple of minutes because you're not gonna get it. Like you people who walk in like I'm in a rush and I need my food fast and it better be hot and da 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 da. Okay, you're gonna get everything but what you asked for. It's like have some common courtesy and some respect for people who work in food service and customer service, period. Like have some respect. And it's not the fact that she was even being rude about it, but it's just like how do you come somewhere that you see is packed, you see they're busy, talking about you gotta leave and be at work within the next like 5 to 10 minutes, so can you order your food? Girl, obviously, no. You see all these fucking people in here. No, you're not gonna get your food quickly. Whew. Excuse me, I had to get that off my chest because I'm like, as someone who does work in customer service, even if I didn't, I was raised right. Let's start there. Even if I didn't work in the field myself, I was raised right. Have some respect, sit and wait, and be quiet. But anyway, Caliber asked her what would she have wanted? Like, what do you want? And so she points at his plate and he pushes it over to her, telling her she can take it and tell Savannah, to make him another one and he'll sit and he'll wait for it. And at first she tries to refuse, but he's like, no, you said you was in a rush, right? Take the food. So she literally sits there and like scarfs down the food and tries to pay him for it, but he's like, no, you good. Go ahead. But she takes the $20 that she offered him and gave it to Savannah as a tip. And he's looking at her. She's beautiful, but it's just like it don't even really matter because after the day, he's leaving. So it don't matter who she is, anything about her, whoop de whoop, whatever. So he goes back to talk to Pops and Pops is just asking him, is this something that you really want to do? I'm happy you getting out though. It is what it is. Now, the guy that Caliber works for, his name is Ben, and he's been like his right hand man, his enforcer, all that good stuff. Now, it's time for him to do his last job. He has to kill, like, or show proof that this last person has been killed. So while he's at the location, getting everything set up, he sees a man beating on a woman, and it's the woman from the diner, Trouble. Her name is Joy, but she goes by Trouble. Um, so he walks straight up to the guy that's beating on her and puts the gun to the back of his head and shoots him. And it's like they have to quickly get out of there. He doesn't even get his target because he kills this guy. And he rushes her to his apartment and it's like possibly just fucking up his whole life because he did that in front of everybody. Basically, it's just like you did that in a room full of people out in the open, so everybody saw you shoot him, and he doesn't even know who the guy is, like what he did, none of that. And Joy is freaking out because she's like, do you even know who you shot? Like, do you even know what you did? And he's like, no, I just saw a man beating on a woman. And that's how his mom died. So, of course, he wasn't going to let that happen. If he could interfere, he could. And side note, please don't do that. I Domestic violence is a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. But more oftentimes than not, when you interfere, the person who is being abused turns on you and tells you to mind your business. So mind your business. Now I can see if it's a friend and you like, if you want to get away, I can help you. But trying to just put yourself in somebody's business, don't do it. And it doesn't make you a bad person if you don't either. Um, so she tells him her story. His name was Zach. He was her brother-in-law. no, not her brother-in-law, her stepbrother, sorry. Um, he raped her multiple times. Um, as she was growing up, and she told her mom, but her mom didn't do anything about it, because it's just like the mom is being abused by the dad, who is her husband, and she's comfortable where she is with the husband because he's taking care of her. So even though Joy told her, like, his son is raping me, her only form of action was to try, not even completely get her away from him, just to try not to leave her around Zach alone. Which, I'm with Caliber, like, yeah, that's your mama, but girl, your mama trifling as fuck. Like, you trying to make excuses for her. Time was like, no, that's my mom. She did. No, she didn't. She did not do the best she could. Because your mom got comfortable, probably doesn't have to work. Um, and she's just like, I'll take this as long as I don't have to go anywhere. Like, I don't have to do anything. And she just let it be what it is. Like, no, don't just say that's my mom, because ain't no way in hell. Like, first of all, my mom is a beautiful person. She would never. But if, just saying, if this was my mama, ain't no way I'll be making excuses for what happened. Because it's like, girl, you really just said fuck me so you could be comfortable. And I just got to deal with the consequences like you do. So basically, like, you getting your ass whooped and this is your life. So what I'm telling you is what's happening to me is basically like, it is what it is. We got a place to stay. So whoop de whoop. So after her explaining like what happened, he's like, I'm even more glad I killed him, like, and he also tells her, I'll find your stepdad, tell him he better not do nothing to you, and he better not do nothing to your mama. Like, your mama will be good. It is what it is. And she's just like, why are you doing all this for me? And he's like, basically, he can't explain it. He's like drawn to her, they're drawn to each other. Given very Carmen a hip opera with Beyonce and Mekhi Phifer. It's just like, don't know this person from a can of paint, but just so drawn to each other. So, the next morning he got to figure out what he gonna do, and he still has to get his target, because it's like, he still has plans of leaving, and he tells her that, like, I plan on being out by my 30th birthday. I just had one more person. No, he doesn't tell her that, but it's like, I have some business to take care of, and then I'm out of here. And she tells him about how she's always wanted to travel. She hasn't really been anywhere, so he has all this money. He's like, I can help you with that, because basically she can't stay there either. Like, they both gotta go. So he goes to see the guy Ben, to let him know, some things came up, but it's still business as usual. I'm gonna get it done. So Ben tells him that he knows the name, no, like, he knows where the guy who killed his mother is. And he's like, I'll give it to you if you work for me for another 10 years. And Caliber is pissed. He's like, you know what my plans are. Like, how I've said I've always planned to do this, that, and the third. So why would you dangle this over my head? And Ben claims, like, I love you. I'm looking out for you. And Caliber, rightfully so, he's like, man, you're not looking out for me. You looking out for your damn self, because you know what my plans are. And then you just dangle this over my head. If you had this information all these years, why would you not give it to me? Why would you hold on to it? And then as soon as I'm almost out the game, you want to offer this piece of information. So he's like, no, I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do, and we're going to be done with it. But when he's by himself, he's torn, because he's like, of course I want that. Like, I want the nigga who killed my mama. Like, I want to kill him myself. But I also promised her I wouldn't be doing this all my life. So either way it go, he feels like he's betraying his mom in some sort of fashion. So him and Joy, like, they're still getting to know each other. They're talking, and he throws her a going away party, like a little get together. He gets with her best friend and, just gets all her closest people together to send her off because she's going, like, wherever she wants to go. Like, he's going to put her on a plane and just, tell the pilot your destination. He'll put it in and boom, bam, you could go wherever. So she's waiting on her mom to show up. Because it's just like everybody that she loves or wants to be there is there, but her mom. She's just waiting on her mom. And she calls her mom, and her mom, like, real dry on the phone. And she's like, Mom, I'm waiting on you. Where you at? And her mom tells her that she's upset with her. She's like, You mad at me for what? And the mom tells her, He kicked me out. All you had to do was just leave it alone. Because Caliber found the husband and, like, beat his ass and threatened him and told him he better not do nothing to either one of them, or basically he gonna end up like his son. And his answer for that was to kick the mama out. So now she's staying at some hotel till she figure out what she gonna do, and she is blaming Trouble for that. Like, this is all your fault. If you just would have left it alone, now I got to figure out what I'm going to do. And Joy tells her, so the fact that the person who raped me got out of jail, and as soon as because that was the thing, like, he had been in jail, not for raping her, but he had went to jail. And when she saw him, like, she was just so in a blind rage that she started attacking him. And he got the better of her because she's just like a little itty bitty thing. And he got the better of her and was beating on her. And then that happened. And it's just like, so I see the person who raped me multiple times and you continue to force me to be around, and I lose my temper, and unfortunately this happens, and I tell him about your husband and what's going on, and he does that to protect me. And in all this, all you can think about is the fact that he put you out, and that somehow, like, it don't make sense. And so she's just like, wow, I really tried to look out for you and you don't even appreciate it. It's like you are away from that abusive ass asshole, but because he was paying all the bills and you didn't have to do nothing, you was okay. Basically, what I said earlier, like, you were okay with it because you didn't have to do nothing. It's just like, as long as I'm living comfortably, I'll take these punches and these kicks and these slaps and I'll just be good. So she hangs up on her mama, rightfully so. Because her mama was trying to give her some book. No, that's not. It's like, lady, I almost called you bitch. Yeah, it is what it is. Like, boom, we're done with that. We're good. I I'm up here worried about you, like, really worried about you. Like, that's my mom. She did the best she could defending you and all that shit. And basically, she ain't doing nothing but proving Caliber right. Like, that's she gave birth to you, but that's not your mother. That's the best way to put it. She gave birth to you, but that's not your mom. So, at first she's upset, but then she started drinking. She's like, fuck it, I ain't gonna worry about it, whoop de whoop, whatever. So it's the next day, and like I said, her and Caliber, they have the strong pull and connection to each other. But she doesn't want to leave now. Now she, like, wants to be close to him, but he tells her, tell the pilot where you want to go and you good. And he sends her off. And he still has one more thing to do before he leaves himself, because he planned on going on vacation. He been working all this time, being in the drug business. It's like it's all work nonstop. You don't really have vacations and whatever, whatever. So she leaves, and then his last thing was, they caught the guy, they killed him. He brought the proof to Ben, and Ben tells him that Ben himself is actually Caliber's father. He said he told him the truth is your mama was a hoe who didn't know who the father was and was sleeping around. And she told me that it was my baby, but I didn't believe her. And he basically hooked her. No, he sent the guy to beat her up, like beat her ass. Because he later found out that Caliber was actually his son. And the guy ended up killing his mom, and he just being like looked at it as, oh well, it is what it is. And so instead of telling Caliber that he was his father, he just played like the mentor role. So now that Caliber is trying to get out, he's like throwing that all up in his face, like, you don't get to leave me. Um, I tell you when you're done, and I'm not done with you yet. And so Caliber kills him. Cause it's just like, you playing on my mom top right now, and I'm not with it. I don't give a fuck who you is. So he kills him. It involves a shootout because Ben got all these bodyguards, whoop de whoop, whatever. But he makes it out, and he goes to Pop's diner to talk to him. And Pops is actually Ben's brother, and he knew all this time what it was, but he didn't talk to Ben. Like, him and Ben didn't communicate. They had nothing to do with each other. So, but he tells Caliber, I'm sorry it had to end that way, but I also don't blame you for killing him because what he did was wrong. And like, I want you to get out of here. Ain't nothing good in Memphis. Are they in Memphis? Yeah, he was like, I want you to get out of Memphis. Which, side note, rest in peace to young Dolph. Rest in peace to young Dolph. Like, that is so good. Rest in peace. I'm so sorry to his family. That is like, just the fact that that man went into a baker. Like, you can't even go get cookies, my nigga. Niggas can't go get cookies or can't go get a cake. Like, a bakery, my nigga. You killing niggas inside of a bakery? Okay. Anyway, sorry. Like, it's just the fact that it was in Memphis, and as soon as I said Memphis, it made me think about it. Like, a bakery, my nigga. Anyway, so he tells him to get out of Memphis and, do something with himself. Get out of this city. This city don't do nothing but drag you down. And he's like, I always had love for you, always respect, I'll see you around sometime. So he hop on the jet, plane, I think, and go to his destination. Now, Joy is at his place waiting for him. So it's like, when he turned the key to his apartment and walk in and see her, he like, what the hell you doing here? How you get in here? And she said, you told me I could go wherever I wanted to go. Where I wanted to go was to be with you. So, found out about your apartment. And she's telling him, you really need to get some better life because it was none for me to pick these. And he just pulls her in close and kisses her and was like, good, because I wasn't going to let you get away anyway. Like, I was going to come look for you real soon. So it's just a short love, like on the run love story, I guess, that I thought was really cute. And I was not expecting this to even be this long. I thought I was going to be talking for 10 minutes, like one of my shortest episodes ever. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope to see you back next week. Peace and blessings. Mwah.